Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ty from AGI Pro DJ doing our after hours show, episode 9. Sorry we missed you last week. Had a little family emergency that had to be addressed. But we're here and we're back in the studio. And I'm joined today by two industry important gentlemen. I'm joined with DJ Zimmie from Portland. He's with there. What's up? What's up?
What's happening, man? How are you?
How you doing? Good. How are you?
I'm great now that I plugged into the Ethernet and we are screaming.
Right on. You get off that dial-up. Woo!
Sorry, man. I got like 7 different devices in my house, and they're all stealing some sort of internet. So,
all right.
Dude, where are you in your basement? Or are you at the office? Because I see some arcade games. What's happening over there?
I'm at the office. We got a little mini arcade here. We got a little Star Wars. Those little arcade one-up, right? So they're like $400, and they have like 4 or 5 games loaded on them. And there's like a Centipede over here. It's got Missile Command, Crystal Castles, and there's a couple more over there. So yeah, it's cool. Keeps us busy.
I might need to swing through the office.
Right on, yeah. Get on the game front. When we finish up with Zimmie here in a little bit, we'll be joined by Mr. Jason Jani of SCE, and we'll talk to him a little bit later. He's out there on the East Coast hanging out at the SCE headquarters, and they're doing some live streaming. But first, we're going to talk to Zimmie. So you're like Mr. Project, like Mr. Busy, all kinds of stuff going on.
You know, they say if you want something done, to ask a busy person. If I could just say no to things, I would probably, like, to be completely honest, I'm using like March 13th, Friday the 13th as kind of the lockdown day for coronavirus stuff. And it was like 6 weeks before I took an actual day off, just because, you know, there was a lot of shuffle. Obviously, we didn't do South by Southwest, our European tour, 3-Style Russia. But then after that, it was figuring out DJs needed live streaming help. So one of our homies, Rome, works for Roland, and he's super helpful, but I wanted to make sure that he wasn't taking every single call. So we have a big chat set up for the playlist retreat, and I kind of got up to speed on Twitch and some of the live streaming tech. So I've just been helping DJs get that sorted, which it's been 3 months, and I still get like daily calls like, hey man, I'm thinking about streaming. And I'm like,
you're thinking about it now,
dude, like good luck finding, you know, like a webcam or like capture devices or anything of that. So between that, launching a record label, doc stuff, it's just been, and you know, just life is obviously different right now, just speaking about the coronavirus thing. So like for a while, like I didn't, you know, grocery stores and all that, it was like a whole ordeal. So just the last 90 days have just been interesting, to say the least.
It's been kind of a dumpster fire, to be honest. So
yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear about your loss.
It's all good. It's all good. It was my wife's grandmother, but you know, we're here. We made it through it, and better place, right?
Yeah.
So yep. Okay, so the doc. Let's talk about it. It's no longer the DJ documentary. It is now called Revolutions.
Yeah, so I had to have a call with Kevin actually to see what I could and couldn't say. Everyone who's been following, thank you for always checking in on me. This has obviously been a long time coming, but last year, in a nutshell, I partnered with Kevin Kerslake, who did the DJ AM documentary, the Bob Marley doc, the EDC doc. Like he's
Mr. Documentary.
If you haven't looked, well, not only that, if you haven't looked this dude up, like, probably some of your favorite rock music videos he did. Nirvana, In Bloom, Stone Temple Pilots, Interstate Love Song. Like he goes back. So he's like the most interesting dude I know. I kept calling him with like questions like, hey man, you know, what would you do here or whatever? And at some point because Kevin Scott gave me some great advice. It was basically like, dude, if you don't get a team together, you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah, it's going to kill you. So
I asked Kevin, I said, hey man, like, do you want to work on this? Because I keep asking you all the questions. He's like all the industry experience, all the nuts and bolts experience. So we partnered last year and basically got right into pitching. He was like, look, stop working on your own. Let's get someone to pick this up. Let's work on the clock. So the last little bit has been pitching to buyers, sponsors, financiers, people like that. The big news is it's no longer a doc. It's a series, some of the feedback that we got from some of the people we're talking to, Kevin's agents, is, look, we love this. There's no way you're going to tell 100 years of story in 2 hours.
Nope.
People are really into episodic content right now. People are obviously, I mean, there's, you know, always look for the silver lining. Netflix added, 16 million new customers in the first quarter of the year with COVID.
Right.
That's $2.5 billion a year. So anyone who's making something, especially like what we're doing, that doesn't require a Marvel-sized team, that can start writing and researching and doing all the nuts and bolts in quarantine, is golden. So we have some interested parties. We've had some great calls. I can't really say too much more than that.
Well, let's back up like a couple of years. So I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that are like, what documentary, right? So they might not know who you are. They might not know about the documentary. So you are basically doing a documentary on the history of DJing, correct?
Yeah. So I, what up, Mike B? I basically, Christ, I don't even know how long ago, 6 years ago or something, wrote an article called "The End of DJing."
It's been a minute.
It went kind of viral, and it was just kind of about the state of DJing at the time. And a bunch of people that I at that point weren't friends with hit me and said, "Hey man, like, what are you going to do now? Because you've got everyone's attention. You obviously have a handle on this." So I kind of just DIY'd it, bought some cameras, started filming random shit. I had no idea what I was doing, but I started learning more and more and getting better gear and getting more into the interview. So the goal was to basically just make a documentary about the history of DJing. And the crazy thing was, the deeper I got into it from doing interviews and research, it just kept growing. I'd do an interview with a guy and he would be like, "Were you talking to these 5 people?" And I was like, "No, should I?"
No,
and he would explain why. And I'd be like, "Oh, boom, boom, boom." And it's kind of just morphed into this thing where now, through working with Jeff and all the other stuff that I've done, I have really great access to a lot of the people I need to talk to. I've just been writing. So like, I wrote out a big chunk of it as a documentary, like film. But once we knew it was going to be a series, I didn't really have a lot to do at that point. So I just kept writing out episodes. So we've literally just written out all the episodes, and now it's just like a lot of the fine details. So
right on.
I mean, obviously I couldn't be more excited to kind of get rolling on this, but this is kind of the first time in the history of the project that, you know, I'm excited about the materials and how they look. Kevin is excited. All of his agents are excited. We show it to people and they're like, "What the fuck?" We had meetings and people literally would hit us and say, "We don't believe this hasn't been done. So we need to go back and like do some homework and find out if this has been done." And they would hit us back and say, "We can't find anything like this anywhere." So,
and why hasn't it been done, right?
Well, and the problem is, a lot of DJs live in a genre. You're a house DJ. You're an EDM DJ.
You're an EDM DJ.
Scratch nerd, like whatever. So even a lot of those projects that touched on things like scratch or EDC or documentaries about house music, Detroit techno, they live in that little world, because even those little worlds are so big, to fit that into 2 hours is pretty hard. And to do it Ken Burns style, like long form, that's an undertaking. I mean, I couldn't have picked a bigger undertaking for the first thing I ever did. So
yeah, which is why you have no hair, right?
None. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just, you ain't getting out to a barber right now. So let's be honest about that.
How is your quarantine hair game? How's you just shaving it these days, or
just shaving it, man? Like
yeah.
I started doing that actually kind of in the middle of touring last year, the year before, just because we'd be in like London and I'd need a haircut. And I'm like, okay, it's 10 pounds in an Uber to the barber. The haircut's 25 pounds. Let me convert that. It's like 2 hours of my day and $75.
Right. I was gonna say it's $100. So
I don't need hair.
Yeah. Make your life easy.
I'm wearing a hat all the time. Like, yo, yes, Mike B, we're talking 10-part series.
At least.
So
well, that is super exciting, and I'm really happy you connected up with Kevin, and just from what he's done with the, like you said, the AM documentary, not to mention all the other things that he's done throughout his career. I don't know if you could have teamed up with a better person to really bring this, this kind of passion project of yours to life. So congrats on that. That is super cool.
It's definitely a marathon, man, and there's a lot. I read some articles and watched some things about like making documentaries or making your first project, and they're all just really dead on with like, you never think it's going to get picked up, the self-doubt and like all of this shit is like insane. But then you have these little moments where someone's like, oh, let me connect you with this guy at this place, and like all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're back on track. You know what I mean? And it's just like Hollywood learning so much about how the movie industry works on the back end. Like that is a documentary in and of itself, just like learning that stuff. So,
well, you can do that one next.
I'm gonna take a fucking break next.
Hard pass. So next thing I want to talk to you about is private stock. It's something you've been working on with. I know you've had the the episodes that you've been putting out over the past a couple of years now.
I'm actually doing one next. It's the 45th episode, so we're coming up on 4 years.
Wow. So I'm a little off. So tell everybody
to that point, like to anybody watching, like I don't think it's an understatement to say there's too much content. Like people be like, hey man, you didn't know I was like XYZ. And I'm like, dude, I sometimes go too long and go, I forgot to eat 3 hours ago, let alone like watch 70 episodes of your podcast about books. It's just like, dude, we're friends, but like there's too much shit.
Well, I'm sure your life anymore is like this. Like, okay, I got all these on notes. This is over the documentary, and then private stock, and the blog, and the streaming series, and you got to grill, and then this. Yeah. Right. Dude, like you probably live on lists.
Well, this is some of the best advice I ever got, and I got this from Trey's, and I had also heard this. Like I'd read a couple time management books. I literally started using a stopwatch. So I literally would be like, I have 4 hours left. I got to do XYZ. Here's how much time I need for each one. I'd turn the phone off and literally set a timer to like in 45 minutes stop and go to the next thing.
Yep.
And just ignoring the phone. That's you get in like emergency mode and you're like, I haven't checked my phone in 6 hours. You kind of have to live like that because the phone is like the ultimate distraction. Everybody on your phone is like, look at me, check out my time. And you're just like,
look at my stuff. Check me out.
I can't, man. Like, so
that's what it's like here, right? I mean, that's just like at the day at the office. It's email goes off and the phone goes off and the chat goes off and then a message from your coworker and another coworker and holy shit, it's 5 o'clock and So
if you want to be busy, like just make yourself lunch and be like, okay, it's lunchtime.
Right. That's exactly. All right. So in addition to the episodes on Private Stock Records, which your podcast, you just launched it as a record label, right?
Yeah. So
in the middle of a quarantine, I should add.
And it's so like you couldn't have had more problems. So Private Stock started out as a private record pool with some friends just sharing music, and then it turned into like, okay, we have all this music, we don't know where to put it, but internet radio platforms are really great right now. So we started doing stuff on Mixcloud and posting it some other places.
Right.
And, we had all these DJs that were like, we should put out like a digital sampler. We should like do something. Right. So I started kind of talking to the homies and some of my other friends, True and Maker at Altered Tapes with Heat Rocks, Destruct with Raisin Heads, Jim Sharp with Dusty Donuts. They were doing 45s, like 7 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just talked to them like, hey man, what's the deal with this? We were going to do some digital releases and they were like, no, like people are really buying records right now. Like you can really do some cool stuff. You can also include the digital download. There's definitely a market for it. So I kind of did all that work and it was like one problem after another. The big lacquer fire, like, I don't know if you remember, there's a plant that was making all like the lacquer for vinyl records caught on fire. Everyone thought the record industry was done. Coronavirus, we had some copyright issues with like one of the things, like it was all bad. It was bad. And I had already ordered all the records. So like they're in like the Czech Republic or some shit. And like the guy was like, it's going to be 2 days. They're coming over by boat. Like there's no planes flying right now. And I'm like, come on, man. First release. So finally, anyways, got all that done. Have a nice little label now. We'll have some forthcoming releases. I've been really excited about the streaming platforms. Like we're on Twitch really heavy. So
Yep.
It's a great way. Last night we had Flip Out on for like 2.5 hours just playing records. So it's a really great way to just play cool music for people. Our crowd of viewers seem to really dig just not the radio. And they've been really supportive, like through Serato, through Twitch. We've gotten a lot of great support to learn how to really, that platform is, you guys know, like the platform is so bananas. And once you dive into
You're
that,
talking about Twitch?
oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's crazy.
Once you dive into that back end, the amount of stuff you can do, but you know, if you put in the time, you can really freak it. So I had a 90-minute call earlier with Twitch, like just trying to really make the most of all of that stuff. So that's going to be a whole other job, basically. Yeah.
Right on. That's cool. So if you haven't checked it out, check out privatestockrecords.com and then PBT Stock Rex on all the socials.
If you want a 7-inch of the new release, we're doing a giveaway right now.
Ooh, everybody likes freebies.
I'm going to let Ty just figure out how to do the giveaway, but then he's just going to tell me and I'm just going to send you a record. So I don't even know how you guys are doing the giveaways, but.
Okay, we will figure that out, and we'll do that through social media. Probably, we'll start it tomorrow morning. So we'll figure out a way to bust out some hashtag to track it, and yeah, we will figure something out for sure. Cool. So, are you sold out? Do you still have pieces left?
The physicals are sold out online. I kept a little stash for myself, so in case of an emergency, because it's so crazy. Like, I tried to hit some of the record nerd homies, but like every once in a while I get like a message like, "What's up, man? I heard you got vinyl," and then I send one out to like whoever, like it's somebody. But yeah, but it's it was a good first release. Thank you to everyone who bought. You can still get the digitals. Speaking of digitals, tomorrow I'm releasing. So Bandcamp has been having revenue share free days. I don't know if anybody caught that. They basically don't take their normal 10% commission fee. So tomorrow I'm dropping a track. Cutso and I actually made it a while back, but we lost all the stems. So we're going to throw that up on my Bandcamp, DJ Zimmie, and we're going to give all the sales from tomorrow to a yet to be determined charity, probably Black Lives Matter. So grab that, check out the catalog, check out Cutso. He makes good edits.
Yeah, he does. What's the track you guys are going to put up?
So every year for Dre Day, I was making some sort of Dre remix. So this is a 8-bit version.
Is it the 8-bit?
But it's good we found it because it definitely needed some love. Like it sounded like it was 5 years old, which it is. So we cleaned that up and it's in Wave now and the artwork's better. And I'd love to be making more tracks right now. I'm like not sleeping.
Time.
So, yeah.
Time. Yeah, that was actually I was really hoping that's what you're going to say what it was. So I know you said Cutso and I'm like, it's the 8-bit. So yeah, that's a dope track. So
yeah,
go ahead.
Oh no, good.
No, I was just say you definitely need to check out DJ Zimmie on Bandcamp. You've got, I'm sure there are lots of DJ Zimmie gems on there that people need to be grabbing.
Yeah, and if there's something up there you can't find, I didn't put everything on Bandcamp. I'll probably just email it to you. Hit me
because you're cool like that.
Yeah, and between that and I decided to get a little bit more serious about my podcast, especially because everybody's home and the platforms are really great for that. So I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more regularity to the Extra Credit podcast. Hopefully there's some sort of like crossover between that and when we start doing these interviews for the doc. So
that would be cool. That would make a lot of nice content for the podcast and you wouldn't have to do double duty. So
I'm sitting on an 8 terabyte hard drive of shit that one day I can start leaking to the world and
it'll be amazing.
There's some good stuff in there. Yeah. So
right on. That's cool. So you're up in Portland, right?
Yes, sir.
You're not from Portland though.
I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, originally. East Coast.
How the hell did you get out here and why?
I
mean, I know why, but everybody else should know.
Yeah. Pittsburgh has made great improvements, but at the time, probably 2007-ish when I first came out here, it was not the most progressive city. And hey, you got to grill, check that out.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
I came out to Portland to do a gig with my homie Lee Feldman, and it was just like weird. And like I did like 2 gigs in a weekend, and then we went to like hike to a waterfall, and like went to this Acropolis steakhouse strip club, and like all this stuff happened. And I was like,
I kind of dig this.
Fucking crazy. And I went home and I was like telling people, and then I kept going back out, and then he booked my other homie from Pittsburgh. And yeah, and once I started traveling more, I was like, Pittsburgh's cool. The winters are murderous, like East Coast winters.
Yeah.
It's nice and chill here. People are healthy. Like, you got some outdoorsy shit. So it was a good fit. I don't regret that decision at all. I enjoy being here. So
yeah, you definitely seem like you've embraced Portlandia culture. You fit in well.
I like eating and I like weird shit. So,
There's a lot of eating up there. Oh my God. Some of the best food in Portland, Oregon, for sure.
You guys got a little corner down there that's like
things are improving down here. There are definitely our food truck game has certainly improved. A lot more like boutique-y, a lot of boutique-y restaurants. Not there used to be like the mecca of chains down here, right? Which is hard pass, but yeah, lots of little local places. Like this place called Bow and Vine just opened up. I think they've got a joint in Corvallis and Salem. But their burgers and chicken sandos they're amazing. So
every time I come down there, you guys usually have some new cart or something we hit that's usually pretty solid. I mean, it's not Cheesecake Factory, and that's cool.
Thank God.
My homegirl just bought down there too, because you basically can't afford to buy anything in Portland anymore. So
it's pretty brutal here, man. It's bananas. I don't know why, but Kevin just messaged me Frank's pulled noodles.
Frank's hand-pulled noodles, yo. So it's basically like, there's all these different ways to make noodles, and there's a spot up here on Broadway where the dude literally takes the dough and pulls it out to 6 feet long and does the cool twisty. It's almost like he's doing the what is that thing with the hands with the string?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he does that shit, but with noodles, and then they just throws them in a thing and tosses them up and gives them to you. It's pretty wild. All
right. So I need to come up to Portland. It's a long overdue trip anyway.
You guys, you guys should grab an overnighter, and we can probably bang out 6 good meals.
Yep, that'd be cool, and maybe something productive also.
I mean, we'll have some sort of meeting so you can write the whole thing off. We had to talk about some gear, some shit.
Talk about this. So
yeah, did we talk about that? Totally expensing this.
Exactly. Chili's, Ramon, go away. So Kevin's got You Gots to Grill, which is, how many are there? 10 or 11?
We did 11. I'm working on number 12 right now.
4th of July, right?
Yeah, 4th of July. The biggest, there's been a million bummers in the past 90 days, but one of the bummers was we did a You Gots to Grill in Vegas last year. It went really well with my homegirl DJ Cricket at Commonwealth. And this year we were going to do another Vegas. We were going to do a Portland. I was going to do a Pittsburgh. We were going to start kind of rolling those out, and that's on hold.
And no, there will be no traveling.
Yeah.
And then, are you still doing? What's the summer one called?
The Afternoon Delight kind of jammy, or the block party, or the tan lines.
Tan lines. Are you still doing tan lines?
Yeah. One of my things that I kind of redid my life schedule recently, and one of the things was I actually need to have a better content calendar. So I'm going to try to be a little bit better about these mixes are rolling out every year or every other year, and I'm going to do these many remixes. So I actually did a tan lines kind of live stream. What up, Josh Call? What up, Ramon? I actually did a live stream that was a tan lines themed. So I'm just going to kind of clean that up, maybe look at the tracks one more time, but I'm going to put that up. But right now I'm in You Gots to Grill mode and 17 other fires that I put out every day. Every day I wake up and it's call me when you get up. There's usually 3 of those, and I'm
3 of those when you get up.
I'm what?
Nice. So definitely check those out for sure. People might not know you hang out a little bit with DJ Jazzy Jeff from time to time. Yeah, a little bit. Can you talk about that?
For the past couple of years, I've been for the past couple of years, I've been on Jeff's road team, doing tech and road management and kind of photo video. It's kind of a cool ecosystem. We just have a whole group of people that if we need something, somebody just kind of hops on. But and then this would have been the 6th year for the playlist retreat at Jeff. So I've been helping with that the last 5 years. So it's kind of just people need stuff. They just call and you just, it's cool.
Yep,
there's worse people to help out,
Is playlist going to get postponed till next year?
the word on the and I don't make any of these decisions, but the word on the street right now is that's on hold. There's a whole big conversation that has to happen between sponsors, gear companies. There's a travel component because Jeff flies everybody in from all over the world. So we don't want to be like, nobody can come from this whole part of the world. We'd almost rather just be like, let's just chill and get everyone here. So,
yep.
I don't.
How horrible would it be if somebody got sick at Jeff's house, kind of a thing? Or
like,
it'd be awful.
So I just people keep asking me shit. I just kind of do whatever people tell me. I don't have a crystal ball. I know some countries are kind of doing better than others right now with the coronavirus shit. I'm hoping we're not here at like Thanksgiving, but I definitely see people like having pickup basketball games, and I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. So, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Gemini says Pock's good stuff.
Pock's, man. I mean, if you came up here, like, let me give you a pro tip. If you're eating something you like to eat, or you see something you want to eat, take a screenshot, take a picture, and have a photo album called Bust a Grub. And I also do this, like I follow like Eater PDX and some food blogs, and I just have this folder. Anytime I want to eat, this is the easiest thing to do because it's like trying to figure out what to watch on Netflix, where you're just like looking through this channels forever.
I know I saw this preview. I want to watch this.
45 minutes later, you're still looking through previews. So all you do is pull up that folder and just start swiping, and you'll be like,
that's the jam. That's it.
That barbecue looks good as hell. Because like you got to almost see it. And once I started doing that, I would just have this other folder of like stuff I want to eat, and it'd be like a picture of like macaroni and cheese with like chicken wings in it or some shit. And I'd be like, today's the day. I'm driving the whole way over there, and like it's like an adventure.
Zimmie'sFoodAdventure.com.
Man.
All right.
See Jason.
Cool, man. So we're gonna bust out here to Jason because it's like almost almost 9 o'clock there, 10 o'clock there.
Yeah, quarter to nine.
Right on. Cool. Zimmie.
Other side.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, man.
If anybody we need to catch up, please hit me. If your streaming's fucked up, if you can't figure your life out, I got you.
And we need to get you. We need to connect with Jason and or with Kevin, and get you streaming on the agiprodj channel too, so we can just kind of help everybody out.
Tell your friends to get with my friends. We could be friends. We could do this every weekend.
Nice.
See you guys.
Thanks, Zimmie. Appreciate it, man. Jason, what's up?
What is going on? How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good. Other side of the planet from you guys right now. Getting
right on.
We're here,
We're not. How long till you go on live?
I'm going to go on at 10 o'clock. So Jay Cohen, DJ Demand, is about to go on.
Cool.
Like this whole SCE handoff thing today.
Right on.
So he's going on 15. So
very cool. So I've got you for what, 30, 35, 40 minutes probably?
Yeah, whatever.
Awesome.
Very cool. As you need me to be.
All right, everybody. So I'm joined right now by Mr. Jason Jani. Are you hanging out are you in Jersey right now?
I'm in Jersey. I'm in West Long Beach, New Jersey. Yep.
So, and you are founding member of SCE.
Yep.
If you don't know who SCE is, you should look them up. Jason, tell everybody about SCE. What do you do out there in Jersey? Give us the Jason Jani story in a nutshell.
I'd like to say we do cool things for cool people. What's up, Josh Carl? I see you over there. I like to say we do cool things for cool people. We help people celebrate private or social events, and not just in the Northeast, but all over the planet. From weddings to corporate events to galas to fashion, retail, nightlife. We kind of work in a lot of different industry verticals. And I've been at it for a little while, probably a little bit longer than I ever want to publicly say out loud. 10 years ago, I left the path of being an engineer to focus primarily on just doing the DJ thing with no hope of like starting a business. I didn't have like a plan, or I didn't do anything what the book says. As a matter of fact, I'm everything the book says you shouldn't do. That's who I am.
Yep.
I have tattoos. I wear sneakers. I curse. I don't care. I'm all about being authentic and real. And long story short, I started doing events. I started working for a lot of celebrity clients, started moving around a lot. And then here we are 10 years later. I've kind of been able to build an incredibly cool team of very dynamic, professional DJ dudes that absolutely kill it. People I have a lot of respect and admiration for. And I don't know. I believe that although being a private event DJ was probably something at one time in my life, I would say, you're absolutely crazy if you think I would be doing this. Now I believe I was put on this planet to do what I'm doing. So from parties to edits to a mix show to playing out all over the place, we kind of do it all, and I kind of do it all. I wear a lot of different hats. I'm not like the owner of a business that just like sits back and sends people out. Like I am literally at it. 2 years ago, I did like 235 events. This year, I would have done a ton of events if the whole thing didn't come on. And okay.
So if you want to check out what you're doing, if you want to check out SCE, it's just SCEeventgroup.com. Is that right?
Yeah, you can find us on Gram, Facebook, obviously YouTube. There's a ton of content on there. And then,
perfect. So you definitely need to check out what Jason's up to. Check out SCE, check out the company that they've built. It's pretty amazing. I think you guys are certainly at a gold standard level for an event production company. And huge props to you guys for that. I know I followed you for a long time. We've talked for years. So before, when you were just, doing engineering and you were a part-time DJ and, and I was, not doing what you were doing right now. So yeah, things are cool. How they've all kind of come together. So.
It's crazy how this world twists and turns. You know what I mean? And you just stay at it. That's it. So yeah, we know each other for a long time, Ty. So
yeah, for sure. Speaking of twists and turns, there's a couple things we should talk about. What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about Spotify, or do you want to talk about how the quarantine and the coronavirus shit all over 2020? Which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, they're both shitty topics, so I'm down for whatever. They both have been kind of like hard to go through in their own individual ways. If we want to talk about Spotify, I got that dreaded email from my podcast host provider that my account was flagged after I amassed well over 1 million downloads of my podcast, 108 episodes. I was averaging 4,000 or 5,000 downloads a week. Whatever. They pulled the podcast due to copyright. Thanks to Sony. Fuck you, Sony.
It's always Sony, man. It's always Sony.
Whatever. Yeah. Sony got me. So now I've just been trying to play catch up, putting my content on Mixcloud in place of. I'm still putting it out. I just boosted up an Electro House set earlier today on the podcast app and all the platforms that are still hosting the show. But I had made a lot of progress building my content and moving it in front of people that were using it, using it a lot in like the fitness world, whether it be classes or whatever. And it's just it's tough. So long story short, I had to pull it. So now I'm just on the rebuild back up, and I'll do it again. It's just I've kind of like made Mixcloud not my priority. I put everything because Spotify was the easier thing for most people, not in our
reach and
unfortunately it got pulled. So now I'm trying to move people over, and it's not an easy task for sure, but I'm doing it. So
so are you putting everything on Mixcloud under SCE Event Group or under Jason Jani?
Right now I'm putting it all under SCE Event Group because I kind of started that a while ago, and we were building even before I started off this like radio project, the radio series that I've been doing. So there's a ton of content, not just for me, but from all the crew. Our tribe has been putting content up there for a while. So now I'm trying to build backwards, and now it's just varied. And I'm kind of going through that like thought process of, do I want to put it on my own and just market that as its own individual product? Or do I want to put it all with everyone else? The problem with it is there's strength in numbers, which is a good thing, but also like if people are looking for a specific thing and
Right.
getting something that's not that, that also could weigh, harder on the reach. So I'm kind of going round and round with what to do.
Yeah, I can see that an argument you could make for both. I mean, like one channel of exclusively Jani, and then another channel of SCE Event Group, which would have you and Nick Spinelli and Jeff Scott Gould, and then Birdman and everybody on the crew there. So Kevin just put up links to the SCE Event Group Mixcloud, so you guys definitely need to check that out. There's some amazing content on there. I'm not bullshitting, I'm not blowing smoke. There's some really great talent on there. So if you're looking for something to listen to, just jam out to on a drive, you're working, you want some legit music to listen to, definitely check out these guys on Mixcloud for sure.
Yeah, so like my thought process is, now that you have like the select whole thing, is like I can put stuff up drop free and like use like tools that people could use too. And I'm doing that. I'm just trying to like vary the content, because we have so much that we create here at SCE. And just like tonight, we have 4 hours of new content that we can put up. So now we're just building. Yeah.
DJ Maverick said same thing happened to me. Wish Mixcloud was better. I think it's going to get better, right? I mean, just like right in the middle of this coronavirus thing, they completely accelerated their launch of their paid platform. So I think we're going to see a lot of good changes in 2020, hopefully, on the Mixcloud platform. So I'm holding out hope there. Like you said, you guys are streaming right now. So if you're looking for something to watch, check out Twitch, SCE Event Group. Who's on right now?
So Jeff's on now. Demand is about to go on. Demand is like the Rutgers football party DJ. So he's pretty nasty. He's pretty talented. Jeff obviously is crazy. Nick set things up. We're just moving 4 guys through kind of like our channel, and we're hosting in our individual channels and hosting it through SCE today. So we're just pushing content around. I haven't even gone on my own personal username channel on Twitch. So I think that's where I'm going to kick it from later, just because I've been putting stuff up on
You got to build content. You got to build content on your channel. So
yeah. I need my notes. I need my head. I need the profile. I need like great stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So 2020 obviously got a little derailed this year. Coronavirus, pandemic. I am sure, being owner of a multi-op that had probably hundreds of events booked for this year, had the rug pulled out from under you, I assume, just like everybody else. How are you getting through that? Any advice you can give to people on retaining clients, moving gigs around, rebooking? I'm asking the sage, like tell everybody what you guys are going through, and what your plans have been to kind of mitigate this disaster.
So it's been an interesting year. I mean, everyone's gone through it. In sheer context, my group does about 2,000 events annually worldwide. So I finished my last wedding the 29th of February, and I did a brunch party the following Sunday. And essentially I woke up and I understood it was on its way, and the governor did the shutdown in my area where everything was closed. So I went from, weddings in my world book almost 3 years out. I have weddings on my calendar in 2023, and, we do a lot of work. I woke up and essentially we were shut down. So the process and the sheer panic started for my team. And I went into, survival mode, really, is probably the first.
Disaster recovery.
Right, yeah. What do? You're sitting on top of the mountain, looking at everything around you, and then all of a sudden,
it's on fire.
There's an earthquake, and there's no more mountain, and you're literally in the trenches, and it almost happened that quick. So we've dealt with every type of situation, story, people that are accommodating, understanding. We also deal with a lot of people that aren't, and they're emotional, and they lawyer up and they want this and they want that. We literally have dealt with everyone, from businesses closing down indefinitely to friends and colleagues, people that have been along for the entire ride with us now going out of business, to everything in between. I would say my advice kind of has been consistent throughout the whole process. I do like learning things with our our friends at Digital DJ Tips and a couple other places. And, like my candid advice for anyone is, if you're still struggling with this, first and foremost, you have to get your expenses and your business yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror, and you have to kind of go through that painful evaluation of what is absolutely necessary to live. What do you need and what do you not? What can you do without? Even if it sucks, what can you do without to kind of get you through this? Because the way the rules are, which are different in every state, in the Northeast right now, New Jersey, I think, is number 2 in new hospitalizations, or number 1 in new hospitalizations, and 2 in infection rates, like second to New York. I mean, like, it's a mess up here. I mean, I can't think how many people have been impacted just in our local area, young, old, everywhere in between. So you have to kind of look at things from a high level, and you have to detach your emotion from it. So cost control, internal control within your business. And in terms of retaining clients, I mean, I think you can't be shitty with them. You have to be very honest and very direct, and you need to deal with things when it's the best time. At first, when we started getting crushed, I mean, we've moved hundreds of events at this point, and we've lost hundreds of events at this point. We try to put a little bit of time from that first contact to when we actually get back to them, even if it's 24 hours or 12 hours. That, to me, has helped us a lot, because you kind of like deflate or de-escalate the emotional kind of like state people might be in. And we handle everything on a case-by-case basis. And we try to do the right thing for people. We try to accommodate whatever we can do. Obviously, you can only do what you can do, and the parameters are so undefined right now. So there's no solution.
There's no one solution to fix every single problem you're going to be faced with. And like you said, it's super important is don't be shitty with your clients, right? Well, you have to do this, this, and this, and I'm going to keep your money. They're never going to book with you again, and they're going to trash you to everybody that they have an ear. So
yeah, I mean, like, thankfully we've, like, our contracts are pretty straightforward. The way we operate is fair. The things that we've been trying to do for people has been, we've tried to accommodate people in whatever way we can. I've had someone go on and totally like trash me, saying I was a thief and I stole their $400 deposit on their like stupid stuff, when I literally tried to do everything I possibly could do to help them fix it and find a solution and work with them in some capacity. I mean, you can't please everyone. You have to stay true to yourself. At the end of the day, you have to be able to sleep at night. And at the end of the day, you got to do the right thing. I think the people that are able to get through this, if you're able to get through this, it's gonna make you stronger.
You'll come out the other end looking better for sure.
I don't think everyone is going to be able to get through this, and I think this is going to maybe eliminate some of the issues that have plagued the mobile side of this business, and even the nightlife side of this business, where people were, kind of like undercutting this and coming in hot, and like situations like this, as hard as they are to go through, they really differentiate the professionals from like the amateur dudes in this business. So you're not gonna hang if there's nothing in it, if you don't want it bad enough, and if you do, then you'll figure it out.
And I think you're right. The guys that treat this, that don't treat it, but that this is a business to them versus a side hustle. Those are the guys that are going to put the time and the energy in to make sure that their business survives. Whereas if it's a side hustle, you might just say, I can't. Why do I do this? And maybe, like you said, I think that helps out our industry with some of the the guys that undercut. Some I hate to use the term bottom feeder, but there's guys out there that'll take a gig away from somebody legit for free food and free drinks. So you look at it in every aspect of this business, right? Like, even if you look at you guys, like if I'm going to order a piece of gear, I'm going to go to you guys, and like the pricing of the equipment is part of that reason, but the other part of the reason is the experience that I have dealing with yourself, dealing with Kev, like going through things, and like like having that person that you can call if you have a question has value. And if you relate it from equipment purchases to actually hosting events or performing for people or building relationships, I mean, it's all about the relationship. So if you could focus on that and you can do the right thing for people, people will become loyal
clients are customers of yours. They're going to be there to carry you through or to see it through, or, okay, they're canceling their wedding. Maybe they're going to have something else that now you can be part of in place of that, just so you're good, and
right.
You never know,
Have you guys done any virtual events yet where you've like done a Zoom party or anything?
We have done a few of them. They're pretty tricky in a lot of different contexts. I did one for a client of mine that I was like so pumped to do. They're just like such a good couple. And I was like, it was awesome to be honest with you. At first I was like, this is terrible. Like that's what my mind going into it was. But to see all these boxes up on a screen and my live stream set up here at SCE is pretty nasty. I mean, when you see those people bopping around and you're able to interact with people, it was like a breath of fresh air for sure. We just had a blast doing it. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like you said, you're an entertainer, right? So it's really tough when you're not allowed to entertain for 30, 45, 60 days. So, it kind of brings us into that live streaming, right?
It's been hard. And I think the live stream component's going to be a part of our business moving forward in different capacities, because until there's a vaccine, given where you are, we don't even know what the outcome of all those parties that took place in Arizona and the Ozarks a week ago have.
Yeah, we don't know yet. There's still another week to 10 days before we even see the fallout from that. So.
Until there's a vaccine, until there's no more worry, that's going to be a component of some of the things that we have to do. So whether you like it or not, you have to get on to it. And, I learned about Twitch a long time ago and I never got involved with it. And I'm still learning now of all these crazy plugins and things that you could do to make it like animated. And I'm blown away by like what even the team here at SCE has been able to do. And I'm late to the game and I'm always the guy that's like first on. I'm like, how do we do this? I need to master this. And we did that from a live stream perspective, but I didn't invest my time into Twitch. Now I'm like going backwards and I feel like now I'm like kind of like playing catch up, but I'm going to build my channel, continue to build the SCE channel and just do whatever I can do to push it forward for us.
It'll be really interesting to see how Twitch handles being invaded by a bunch of DJs, right? Because it's typically a gaming platform. So hopefully they don't get wise to what we're up to. I'm sure they're well aware that there's a lot of DJs that are streaming on Twitch, but I hope they don't eventually kick us all out because, technically we're in violation of the TOS, but, it's been a godsend to be able to stream on Twitch because you don't get your Facebook page shut down, for copyright, which, they've got some pretty aggressive copyright police. So I know you talked about kind of being late to the party with Twitch. Do you feel like that after things start to open back up and you're able to get out there and start doing gigs again, are you going to continue to live stream?
100%. I mean, I've always done live shows for a bit, and I've done my podcast, my show, which is on a bunch of different platforms. And we're going to do it. I mean, I'm now looking at how do I set up a studio, kind of like I recently sold my house, and I had a pretty ridiculous studio where I cut edits and I was able to record stuff. And now I'm moving out of that. I moved out of the house. So now I need to set up a new place. And I want to do it somewhere outside of the SCE headquarters because I feel like from a creative perspective, I need that just as like a person in this business. Yeah. I plan on continuing doing that. And I have.
Somebody desperately wants to talk to you.
I know. Hey, I'm doing a little less. I've done it for a long time. And whether it's on YouTube or this or that, or even Facebook, before it got to like where it is now, like we put a lot of time and energy into the live stream kind of like content. I think we have to continue that as a culture. Look at what we have now at our fingertips. You can sit on your couch with your lady or your dude or whatever, and you can watch people like Zimmie play. You can watch people like Jazzy Jeff play from his studio. You can watch Diplo play, Dylan, you name the artist, you can see them almost daily kicking it on their platform. And, I don't know what's going to happen with Twitch because obviously there's licensing and there's a lot of things, but with Mixcloud and their evolution, maybe their live kind of ability is going to be the place that we can all go legally play this music, have it saved and stored and accessible in the future. And I don't know, I think people, especially DJs, they're infatuated with watching other DJs play and watching how they, put stuff together and looking at scratching and blending and whatever. So,
honestly, right now you can watch some of the best DJs in the world for free on your computer from the safety of your home, your office, just wherever. So I hope it continues. I'm encouraged to hear that you guys are going to keep streaming after you guys get back to work. It's just one more thing to do with your time, right?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, like the creative part of this business, I think, is the part where most people in the mobile side, they almost forget about it, right? Like they start to build a business, they start to get busy, and then they forget about the art form, and they forget about the technique, and they forget about all the things why they started this. And I feel like now, like you can refocus on that and you can share it with people. And you know what, like some of our Facebook streams, our live stream events that we've done, I've got 30 or 40 or 50,000 views on these videos. And like, to me, those are people I wasn't able to touch. Now I can touch them virtually, and not everyone can get to the club if you're playing in Atlantic City, or you're playing in Las Vegas, or you're playing in the Bay Area. Like now you can bring those people with you, and
for sure,
we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good thing to think about, is that, keeping the creativity alive. I can't even tell you the last time I've DJed, just has been so busy here at agiprodj. But, we moved to a new building a little over a year ago, and all my vinyl's been sitting on a pallet, and I got all the vinyl out. Kevin's been pushing me to get all the vinyl unloaded, and we've got the studio up. We got a shipment full of cables coming. I think they're going to be here on Monday. We were lucky enough, like right at the beginning of when everything hit, that we grabbed a bunch of streaming interfaces before they're, back ordered into infinity. So, we're looking forward to being able to stream here from our HQ also. So it's exciting. It's a crappy time and it's an exciting time all at the same time. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even just today, we have multiple setups going on in the office here, and I'm blessed. I have a very big office that like I have as like a home base. Not everyone has that, but you know what? Like setting up that studio will push you to be creative, and I think it's a great thing to do. And I want to see you guys rip. I'm gonna tune in and follow. And I'm hosting this on my personal Twitch now. I'm in. I'm doing it. We're having together,
For sure. Do you want to talk about DMS for a minute before I let you go?
Yeah, we certainly can.
Because in addition to SCE, in addition to live streaming, there's also DJ Jason Jani, who's you've been making edits for years and years and years. You're part of the DMS family, Direct Music Service. There's lots of Jason Jani edits that come out specifically on DMS. Do you want to give a little background there? And
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've been doing edits for a long time in different places. And a couple years ago, I spoke with Kevin Scott, and War and Peace. And I had a lot of friends on DMS, Diggs and Ryan Scooter. And I have a lot of respect for a lot of the guys that are on the platform. And I feel that DMS there's a lot of tools out there, and there's not one perfect tool for everyone, but DMS was always something that I considered to be consistent from a quality perspective for events that I was doing. So I needed it. That was my go-to. And I was creating a lot of content for my mixes, and we just got talking, and they brought me on as kind of like a video and social kind of a person for the team. Doing different content, but then I'd also release my edits there. So for the past 2 years, I've exclusively released my edits there. And I haven't released anything in like 2 months, but I have a stockpile of stuff I've been working on. And I mastered 3 of the tracks earlier today. So I'm going to send those over shortly, and they should be up by the weekend for everyone. Cool. I try to create content that's usable, not just in the nightlife world, but in the party world. Good music, creative edits, and just things that make sense,
Yeah. Right on. That's awesome. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you check out Direct Music Service. We're real tight with the DMS crew. They have fantastic content. Like Jason was saying, it's quality content. It's usable content. So whether you're in the club or you're doing, not all weddings are created equal, right? Like there's a lot of weddings that if you know what, not if you know what you're doing, but if you do what you do, you bring that club party to a wedding, and DMS is definitely a great source for some really high quality edits and content that are usable on a number of different events, for sure.
Yeah, like my wedding events are not like typical basic vanilla weddings. Like
Other club parties.
Yeah, I mean, people want to get crazy, and honestly, that's allowed me to build this business this way, because I'm not someone that's going to get out and tell people to wave their hands in the air. They just don't care. I'm not going to tell people to clap their hands like up and down. I'm not going to pull Miranda out of her seat and dance with her. Like, I'm all about like respecting the art form, but also like putting together things where I can get grandparents to dance to bass house and like ratchet hip hop, but like we do it in a way where it like makes sense and it tells a story and we get all through it. I mean, that's a pretty crazy story, but like a good entertainer, a good company has the ability of creating more of an experience. And that's what I think like we really do well. It's like experiential entertainment. How do we take an idea or concept and create this incredible moment in time, relying like on tradition, but making it like a night out for people too. And there's not a lot of people that can sit there and do that, but I'm very grateful for our team and things that we're able to do here at SCE.
Right on. Well, I'm grateful that you took some time out of your night to join us. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad we got a chance to catch up.
Yeah, man.
If you're just sitting at home and you want to get your groove on, you got to tune into Twitch, SCE Event Group. So make sure they're on live right now. You can check out Jason in about 45 minutes, if I'm looking at the clock right. So
we're going to host it there. I'm going to also put it on my own, on
your Instagram,
the @Jason /Jason Jani channel too.
Okay.
So wherever, I'm going to start putting out content and even like informative content on that channel. So I'm just trying to do whatever I can do to help push people forward and inspire our industry to do a little bit better, and more.
Perfect. Awesome. We appreciate that, Jason. We're going to go ahead and we'll also host your stream on our channel as well. So
thank you.
It's all about the family, right?
Yeah, definitely. Sure is.
All right, man. Jason, thanks so much for spending the time with us tonight and talking about the industry and the ups and all the downs that we've seen in 2020. And man, I keep hoping that we're headed up eventually.
It'll take time, and it's going to come. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. So if you guys need anything ever, just consider me a resource. I appreciate you bringing me and doing all that you do for our crew here. Always being so good to us. So however I can help you guys push it up or be involved, like count on me to be part of it with you guys. It's all about the family, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate you and the team there at SCE. All righty. All right. So that's it. We're going to turn Jason loose so he can go prep for his set. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us tonight with our After Hours live stream, episode 9. We got to catch up with DJ Zimmie from Portland. There we go. I'm back. There's links to everything that we talked to Zimmie about in all the channels, whatever platform you're joining us on. And then make sure you follow SCE and follow Jason Jani. Those guys they've set a bar high. They're doing some amazing things. I would consider them a premier entertainment company. They're a event group as well. And they're doing pretty amazing things. Follow Jason. He's just an all-around good guy. It's just kind of a good guy to keep an eye on what they're up to. And watch on our Twitch channel. We're going to go ahead and host the SCE event group stream also. And we'll go ahead and stream. Kevin, are we going to run that pretty quick, I assume? Yep. Awesome. Okay. So that's it. Episode 9. We're going to wrap it up. I am Ty, AGI Pro DJ. Thursday nights, 5:15 Pacific. Everybody be safe and be well. Thank you so much for spending the last hour with us, and we'll see you in a week. Peace.